Hey guys, Chris here. Today I'm going to talk about just some of the different video games that I play. I mean, I've really never talked about video games on this channel, which is surprising because I play a decent amount of them. I mean, not really. I don't, or I guess what I mean is I play a decent amount of time on computers. I don't play a ton of different video games, but the ones I do play I've really never talked about. So, there's a couple obvious ones like Minecraft, GTA 5, everyone plays both of those games, And of course, I used to play mobile games too. I used to play Clash Royale and Clash of Clans and, Subway Surfers and crap like that. But I haven't really had mobile games on my phone in the last 5 years. And as of now, I mean, you guys already saw, I got this right here, so really the only mobile game on here is Snake, which is fun, but it's not it takes up my time or anything. I'll probably play 5 minutes of Snake a week, But there's other games I play. If any of you guys know me at all, which a lot of you do, you know that I like My Summer Car. And My Summer Car is kind of it's kind of an interesting game to explain. It's basically you play as a young dude in Finland in 1995, and it's rural, it's rural Finland, and you have to build up a car, right? You don't have a car, your parents are on vacation, so you don't really have to worry about your parents being around or whatever, but you have to build up this car, which was sitting in your garage, and kind of the lore of the game is that, your dad was disassembling it to part it out to sell different parts of it, and maybe your parents changed their mind and now they're saying, if he wants to build it, it's his car, and you do that and you basically just try to survive. You can you have to buy food and buy buy beer and stuff and hydrate yourself, and there's just little various things that you do. You make money so you can pay the bills and stuff. You can split firewood. You can you can split firewood. You can pump sewage, or you can sell alcohol to this drunk guy. Sell homemade alcohol. Kind of like the stuff I made in the one video. It's actually my most popular video, the Kill You Brewing video. That's actually the stuff you make in game, sugar wine. Or sugar wash here in the U.S. But it's a really fun game. To most people, it kind of gets boring after a while. I tend to like things for a longer period of time, so I'll still play it from time to time. Although I've not been playing as much My Summer Car lately. I've been playing a game called The Long Drive, which the way I like to put The Long Drive, or the way I like to think about The Long Drive is, if Postal Dude had a car, which, if you guys know about Postal, the game series, that basically, or at least Postal 2 revolves around the fact that your car doesn't work and you have to walk everywhere to get everything done. But I'll talk more about Postal stuff later. But in The Long Drive, basically, it's a long drive. The kind of canon of the game is that you get a letter from your mom saying that, she wants you to visit her, so you have to drive to her, and it's in the apocalypse, so you kind of have to find resources along the way, and there's these bunnies that try to kill you, and there's also zombies that try to kill you. Everything basically is trying to kill you, and you just need to survive, and just get resources like fuel and food and ammo eventually once you find a gun, just to keep yourself alive, But that's a fun game. It's actually a really satisfying game, and I have not played a good satisfying game in a while, because My Summer Car is fun, but it's not satisfying just because it takes so long to do stuff in. And I mean, I guess in The Long Drive things take a while too, because everything's spread apart. It's much like Minecraft, it's based on seeds. And if you guys don't know what seeds are, it's like random world generation, right? So it's a randomly generated world, and it's just miles in between different things, right? So you can sometimes find old service stations, and I say service stations because the game takes place in technically the 1980s, because the canon of the game is that the world ended in 1979, and the scientists in the game kind of they estimate that the current year is about 1988. So it's kind of like a yearless game, sort of, unlike My Summer Car, which strictly takes place in August of 1995. It just kind of repeats. But but it's a fun game. It's interesting, just kind of building up your car and I guess building up your resources too. You know, stocking up on ammo and stuff, and just driving. You know, and that doesn't really sound that interesting when I'm explaining it, but it is kind of fun to play. And apparently there's multiplayer for it, which is pretty cool. Another game I play is something called Monbazoo, which has kind of been described as the Canadian My Summer Car. And it literally is, because the creator of Monbazoo said that he was inspired by My Summer Car, and he just kind of wanted to make a similar game. And in that game, you build up an old car, but you have other dependable cars, unlike My Summer Car, which you kind of have to earn them in a way. Like, for example, in My Summer Car, you start off, the only drivable vehicles you start off with are a mini bike and a tractor, both of which are slow. And eventually your uncle will lose his license because he's a stupid drunk bastard who always, speeds everywhere, so he loses his license. So you get the sewage truck and you get his van. But with Monbazoo, you start off with a truck, you start off with an ATV, and you can earn other vehicles too. Like there's like a race car you can find, and there's an even better race car that you can earn, But Monbazoo's really easy. Like if you want to get into the kind of car survival genre, I don't really know what to call it. Survival that kind of revolves around a car. I don't even know. I think that's the game that you should start with, just because it's stupid easy, and it's fun too. It's fun earning money in that game. It feels very balanced. It feels very realistic, which a lot of games just don't feel that realistic. They don't really have that realistic of a money earning system. Like GTA 5, I think, is especially notorious for that. Like that game, at first money comes way too hard, and then money comes way too easy in it. There's no in between. And in My Summer Car, money comes through grinding, but you don't really know what it is, because it's marks. It's the Finnish mark. This is even before they switched over to euros in Finland, so it's even less consistent. And on top of that, it was 1995 too. So you really don't even know how much money you have. You could have 10,000 marks in the game, but what the hell is 10,000 marks? For all we know, 10,000 marks could have been like $1,000 in current US money. I don't even know. There's conversion rates, but even still, it's you don't even know. But in Monbazoo, it does feel balanced, and the work that you do in that game is relatively easy. I think you have a choice of you have a choice of chopping wood. Eventually you can sell maple syrup, or you can grow weed and sell weed in that game, which is just hilarious. But Monbazoo's easy. It's fun, and unlike My Summer Car and The Long Drive and all those other games, it's a more simplistic art style. The characters in the game are just faceless, kind of, not ragdolls, but it makes kind of good use of sort of minimalism, kind of, which you'd think would be kind of lazy, but it's executed pretty well in that game. So I gotta give it that. And on top of that, the developer is always adding stuff that people, want. He's a very responsive developer. Unlike the developer of My Summer Car, which just adds stuff to torture you, basically. I think he had a quote that was My Summer Car does not exist because it's fun. It exists because it's a hard game that makes you feel bad, or something like that. I don't remember what the exact quote was, but it was basically stating that it's not an easy game and it never will be. Whereas Monbazoo is pretty much the opposite. He's almost trying to make it a little easier for you. And it feels a little less realistic too on top of that, but it's a good game. I enjoy it from time to time. Like I was saying earlier, the Postal series. I first was introduced to Postal 2 from kind of a friend of a friend. He was like, "Oh, Chris, I think you'd really like Postal 2." I'm like, I have no idea what that is. And he was like, oh, I mean, like, his selling point for the game was that you could take a piss in the game. And I'm like, okay, I mean, you can do the same thing in My Summer Car, which is cool. So I guess, yeah, that sounds interesting. And I did eventually get it, and I enjoyed the crap out of it. Postal 2 is awesome. And I played the expansion pack, you know, the Apocalypse Weekend or whatever. And then after that, I started playing Postal 1, which is just grim. I mean, that's a grim-ass game. Like, people have a very good point in saying, like, it doesn't even feel edgy. It just feels like you're kind of in the mind of, like, a true lunatic. But I love that franchise. Granted, I have not played Postal 3 or anything like that, or even... Is Postal 4 out? I think it's out. I don't even know, to be honest with you guys. Of course, I haven't played Postal Redux, because I haven't even beaten Postal 1 yet, so why would I play the, you know, remastered version of the game if I haven't even beaten the first, you know, original version of it? But I do like that franchise. Like, the character of the Postal dude is just so funny to me. Someone that just goes around, like, doing stuff all day, just saying one-liners. I don't know why, that's just so funny to me. Just the concept of someone that just says one-liners all day long. I don't know why. It's just funny. I think it's supposed to kind of make fun of other video games, you know, but it's a good series. I think Postal 2 is one of my favorite video games of all time. And what else am I playing? I think that's it. I mean, I play random stuff from time to time. Like, I'll play, like, Gmod or TF2, or, like, I'll play some old Wii games, like Lego Star Wars, you know. But I think those games that I talked about are kind of the main ones I've been playing nowadays. What is going on out there? Someone's just prancing around the hallway. But, yeah, I feel like I've never really talked about, like, the games that I might have mentioned My Summer Car before, but apart from that, I don't think I've ever talked about the video games that I play. And, I mean, if you guys know me, which, again, most of you do, I've got, 55 subscribers, and probably a solid 15 of those are people that I know. But, you know, apart from people that know me, I mean, I've never really talked about games that I play on this channel, which I'm glad I did. It was kind of a fun video to make, you know. And again, I'm gonna try making more videos. I've said that in basically every single video that I've made. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.